Thunderbolts. This movie has been getting praise. It's been, people are saying this is the movie that, Marvel's back. Everything's exciting. We're going to talk about this movie and see whether that praise is well granted. Before we go in, I just want to hear what's your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, I think it was good. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it was better than a lot of kind of the recent Marvel stuff that we've been getting. And so as to whether or not this means that Marvel is back, I don't know if we can go that far. I think we need a little bit more consistency from them. But this is not bad. Like, this is definitely one of the movies that I think could slot into the pre-Endgame era of Marvel and be fine as far as quality.
I think for me, I consider this sort of like, I enjoyed the movie overall and it was entertaining, but I can't say like I'd go as far as to say Marvel is back or anything like that. I kind of feel like it still misses the magic that some of the previous movies had, like the earlier movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have the stronger opinion because, like, for me, I definitely feel like this movie's a little overhyped for me. I thought it was all right. Like, if I had to compare it to the last movie we saw, which was like, what was it, Falcon in the Winter or Captain American?
Brave
I'm
New
trying to
World.
remember his name. New
Captain
World.
America,
I
Brave
feel like
New
it's.
World.
Yeah, I feel like it's slightly better than that, and I just feel like when people are saying,
Oh no, it's for sure better.
Oh, it's no, but in my worldview, it's only like better by like maybe like 10%. Because like if I had to be real with you, no, really, because if I had to be real with you, it's like comparing to like like for example, like people make it seem like it's like we haven't had within this. I don't know what era they're trying to compare this to, but we've had some good movies. Like I feel like Deadpool versus Wolverine was a good film. I think that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was a good film.
Yeah, Guardians was really good.
Yeah, so it's like when I look at this film and I compare it to those films, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to hate on the film completely, but this film to me feels more mid to me. That's what I feel. Like at best, it's pretty mid. Like it's not really anything I'm going to like remember or look back on. So that's kind of how I feel. And I'm just surprised that there's so much positive reaction towards it. And like people are really glorifying it when it's just like, honestly, to me, it's like, it's hard.
Yeah, I think we have the spectrum here. I'm sort of like more towards the middle. I think OC probably enjoys it the most out of us three.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting
yeah.
discussion.
No,
Yeah, it's
I
going to be
think,
interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little curious because, it's not like Winter Soldier level movie or anything like that. But I do feel like in terms of the quality and like comparing it to what we've been getting, I think it is like significantly better, especially than Captain 4. I would say that I guess we can just go down the list and like talk about what worked for us and what didn't. So for me,
Getting into spoilers.
Yeah, getting into to spoilers a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that the general overall plot was really strong. In terms of you have the story of Sentry, you have this team up for the Thunderbolts and like the reason why they had to team up. It's not something that's like unique. Like we've kind of seen that before. Like people are like sent to kill each other and like they kind of have to work together at the end of the day. So it's nothing.
But I thought
like
they played it really well. Like
no,
I
yeah,
enjoyed
they did.
that aspect a lot.
They did. Yeah, I think that they managed to make it so that it was they had their own spin on it and it worked for me personally. So I didn't have any issues with the general plot of the story. And then the characters, I enjoyed the characters like Wyatt Russell, who's U.S. agent. I think he did a great job. Bucky obviously does a great job. Yelena and Alexei, they're probably the best parts of the movie. Mm-hmm. And they added a lot of the heart in it, especially Yelena. I think that her character and her role was really unique and special for the movie. But those are some of the things that worked for me.
I'm surprised they killed off Taskmaster early on.
Yeah,
I thought
I'm not.
Like,
especially like after the movie that she was introduced in, like I heard that she was gonna be in this movie, and I'm like, how? Why? Like her character doesn't even talk. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised at all that they killed her off immediately.
yeah, but I think like to be honest, when I first saw the character, I completely forgot who it was, and then. But then they look cool, you know, and I thought like, oh, maybe there'll be someone interesting or cool. But like, obviously, if we've been introduced before, I just forgot. And then they died, and I was like, holy crap! I guess I'm just not gonna know much about that character. But then later on, I was like, wait, I feel like that character was actually someone introduced before, because everyone else was introduced before, and then I was like, oh, it's Taskmaster.
Yeah.
But they were so uninteresting in their own movie that I just forgot who they were.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me, as far as the plot goes, I mean, I guess the plot is simple. You know, it's like, you know, you have these, people who are ex-assassins, and then, you know, they're going to come together and try to stop the big villain. I'm not against it. I just felt like taking that concept, I feel like there was so much missed opportunities with it, right? Because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, these are people who've done some really, you know, criminal things, right? They've done some harsh things. And I feel like I feel like there could have been a stronger element of distrust, or there could have been elements of scenes where maybe, you know, maybe I don't know if we can trust this person. I don't know if you can trust that person. They kind of played off to it, but they didn't really like lean. They kind of like baby toed it. It's like, okay, this person may come back. And then they came back. And it's like, I don't know. I guess for me, it just felt like the substance was lacking, especially when they started working together. Because I'm just thinking to myself, when you compare it to like the first Avengers movie, literally like until the third act, the Avengers did not trust each other whatsoever. They're all like saying, I don't trust you, you don't trust me, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, we have a movie about like villains or not villains, people who are assassins, who the definitions, you shouldn't trust them. And they're very all like together after 20 minutes of the film, once they connect to each other. Like, well, you know what? We're all getting killed, so let's just be kumbaya, go together and flow with it. So I just felt like that to me was a pretty like lackluster missed opportunity for the film. I also felt like the message of depression or loneliness, which I liked it just came off as a PSA. Like, it didn't come off like an actual, like,
really?
It would have been, to me, it came off as a PSA because I just felt like the way I would have preferred if, what's his name? The villain, or
Valentina?
Bob.
Oh, Sentry?
I'm just going, oh yeah, that's true. Valentina or Bob, which Valentina, I have my own personal opinions about her. But I just felt like I really wish we could have had more of those scenes where he's showing everyone's like moments of loneliness. And I actually wish it wasn't loneliness. I actually wish they actually went through the whole, or I wish it was actually more of guilt. Because it's like the whole theme, again, it's like these are people who are trying to be better. Like, they're trying to be like seen, most of them are trying to be like, they want to be seen in like a better public light to some degree, right? I wish that instead of showing those scenes of like, oh, you know, they were neglected and stuff, what if they showed scenes of like, maybe Yelena's character kills someone and then you see like a mother crying and stuff, and now she's starting to feel some sort of like, oh, dang, maybe what I did was kind of screwed up. And maybe this is the reason why
But that's kind of what she did feel like in that scene, guilt. When her friend died because of her, right?
Yeah, I just think it could have been more. I'm just saying that with Bob's character of revealing that kind of like, you know how he's kind of revealing their insecurities and stuff. I really felt like that would have been a stronger pull if they went into the more of the guilt of them, the crimes that they did. They feel a lot more guilty about the crimes.
But
right?
I don't really think that they were necessarily crimes. They were just traumatic moments in their lives that were revisited.
Yeah, I think that the point I think that the point of Bob's character is that he's meant to be a representation of depression. And so that's like his whole thing is like he's this kid who's battling with drug addiction and depression and like suicidal thoughts and those kind of things. So I think it's a little different from just guilt. You know what I mean? It's different from just like feeling guilty about something that you did. And so I think that's why they used those moments. But that's, you know, because even if you look at the moment for US Agent, it was about him like he's like sitting there reading about his
Walker.
failures in the news. Walker, yeah, like he's sitting there reading about his failures in the news while his wife and his is kind of is talking to him, and then we later find out that his wife and child left him, and all like those. It's not necessarily about guilt for something that he did. It's mostly like moments of depression, like moments of just like intense anxiety, not anxiety, but like intense sadness. Yeah, and
it's
also
like intense emotion.
yeah.
I guess I would have. I guess personally, I would have preferred if. I mean, I to be fair, yeah, you're right. He's supposed to represent depression, sadness, so I guess it is congruent with that. I guess I would have preferred more of the whole element because again, this is kind of the. I guess the movie is kind of
You
presenting.
just feel like
as,
they would have, they should have played more into these are like people with a past type thing.
People with a past trying to overcome their past. That's kind of the idea that I was thinking, and that if they played that more into like, okay, this is why it's hard for them, like why it's hard for people to just forgive them, I think that would have been more of a stronger element for them than the depression stuff. Which depression is a strong let's all be real. Like obviously this is a tough topic to talk about, but I just felt like with these characters, they didn't really. We don't know them, even though if you want to say okay, the reason why like they're lonely, they all have loneliness, everyone suffers it. We know them for their crimes, right? We know them. That's their flaws, right? So I realized that we could play with their flaws more. With that, that's just the way I felt. Like it would have been more a stronger element.
I can definitely see what you're saying, Chuku. I feel like you're right. If they played more on the whole like past versus like who they are now and how they're trying to like make up for it or change,
It would have.
I could feel that in Yelena for sure.
Yeah.
I can feel that like more subtly, like they didn't like say it out loud, but I could feel that that's what she wanted because she wanted to be in the public and
Exactly.
sort of like take on her sister's mantle in a way as
Exactly.
well. Yeah, so if they played more into it for sure, it would have had a bigger impact for the story. Especially for Walker. I feel like Walker's character was
Exactly.
not as prevalent in this one. And then the ghost character as well, like not at all. Like she kind of had nothing in this story. And to Chuku's point in the beginning as well, there were a lot of very like conveniences, like a lot of conveniences where it's like Ghost could have just left. Why did she go back, right? Like she didn't need to do that, but she did, and they just like automatically sort of worked together in a lot of ways that you may not expect from people who are used to like working alone, I guess.
Yeah.
And there was no real good reason for it. If they had a better reason for it, then yeah. But I mean, I guess the theme is like, oh, they don't want to be alone, so it fits with that quite well.
I guess. I just wish it was more. I still think there should have been a level of, again, distrust and then them coming to the conclusion of it, because I feel like it would be more of a satisfying payoff than just like, oh, you're there, let's just hang out together, that kind of thing, It's like, even with Bob at the end, it's like, okay, Bob, we're just friends with Bob. Bob has no powers, but hey, we're just gonna be friends with him, which I get it, but it's like, I wish there was more,
Bob's part of the team.
Kind of my thing about it. Yeah, he's part of the team, but what does he do now? What does Bob do now?
He still has the power.
He's like, yeah, he still has the power. So if they really need Sentry to come out, then they have him.
They just go in there and hug him again.
There you go, hug him again. Really, they're gonna use Sentry's power. We'll see about that. But I also would like to say is I was kind of undermined with his like Sentry form. Like it's just basically a black blob. Like, I mean, I get it's supposed to be about depression, but I was like, come on.
That's the void. That's the void.
I guess, but I feel like I felt like it could have been like, there could have been a better design for that. I feel like it was just kind of like, hey, let's just make him just a complete black face. It's over,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind that he was just like all darkness. I think that concept was kind of cool. I think his Sentry costume was cool too. Like, I liked his character almost like the most out of everyone's.
Yeah, his character has the most dimensions to it. For sure.
Yeah, I felt like he had some of the best performances. Like I enjoyed whenever I saw him on screen. Like he had a presence that was like interesting, especially in the beginning. You have like no idea who this person is, and like when he got shot and everything.
He was initially cast as Steven Yeun.
Oh really?
but I don't know. There was some reason that he couldn't. He had to like let go of it. But I think that he would have also done a good job playing him. But the guy that they had, he did a great job as well.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job, and he definitely played the rest of it really well. Like, you know, with the whole depression aspect and the scenes with him in the room and talking to Yelena and everything.
Yeah,
I think another cool thing that could have been done is like, because obviously his character is supposed to represent, like, you know, he's lonely and he wants like people to hang out with, and they kind of had this element with him, but it would have been more interesting if he kind of drew the story more, which he kind of did, but not really, if that makes any sense. Because then it actually kind of makes sense why they're all coming together. More? Yeah.
Okay.
Because then it makes kind of sense why they're all coming together. Because then it'd be like he would actually know who these people are and feel connected to them because, you know, they're assassins and all this other stuff. And he could be like, wow, like, I kind of get the idea of like, you know, I'm a person who's screwed up, but these people also do screwed up stuff. So maybe we can all be together. And then that could have been a thing where maybe, you know, Yelena sees this and then she kind of comes to the conclusion and all that. Like, he kind of won them over, basically. And then them saving each other kind of felt more earned. You know, I feel like that would have been a more stronger story. And I wasn't a big fan of I keep on forgetting the girl who's from not Friends, from Seinfeld, that actor.
Valentina. Oh, Julia Louise
Valentina.
Dreyfus.
Yeah, I just hated her. Like, oh, you're either bad or worse. Like, I just hate that one note evil villain.
She is a very annoying villain. Like that is one of the gripes that I did have with the movie, is that I do feel like her as a villain, it didn't work very well. I don't think she was very annoying. She was kind of hard to watch for me.
Yeah, she was stupid. Like, it's surprising how like someone with that much power, or like someone that stupid, managed to get that far, you know? Like,
I agree.
Right.
Like, how did she not see what her assistant saw, you know, how the danger of Bob, like,
right.
Yeah.
Like, she just got caught like out of nowhere. No, even from the very beginning with the hearing, the congressional hearing, and then we got to make sure that I don't end up in jail. Like, that whole part was like, what's going on here? So yeah, I think that was definitely a weakness for me in the film. Yeah, but other than that, realistically, it was a fun ride in my opinion. I will say one of the things, I'm like trying to be more active on TikTok. So I've been giving my takes, and one of the things that people are agreeing with a lot is, I mentioned that the fight scenes with Yelena in Thunderbolts are way better than the fight scenes that we got from the Black Widow in Captain America 4. And so but like, I'm like, what exactly? Because it's not like, one of the things, although I feel like when we talked about Cap 4 and we brought her up, I don't know whose choice it was to cast that woman as a Black Widow, like, secret agent, but like,
oh, right.
Yeah,
the really short one.
Exactly. Like, she looked like a child when I was first watching the movie. I'm like, why is this child in a suit in this room with the president? And then you like keep watching and they're all treating her like an adult, and you realize that, oh, she is an adult. Like, she's so small, and then she's supposed to be like beating up people, and it's not like Florence Pugh is huge. Like, Florence Pugh is also a small girl, but Yelena fighting in this movie, it felt more real. Like, I liked the choreo.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I liked the choreo. I liked the way that she was able to perform it and bring the physicality. But then comparing that to the actress that we got in Captain America 4, it was just leagues apart, like worlds apart. So,
see, this is what I feel. I just feel like people are so mad at Cap 4 that when we got this movie, it's like, this movie is just like, oh my God, this is the amazing thing ever. It's like, this is literally like, imagine if you had, what's it called? I'm trying to get a good example of how I feel about this. It's like, imagine if you had like Legend of Korra season 2, and then you have like, I don't know, like the worst season of Teen Titans, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is so much spectacular, blah, blah, blah. It's because we just had Legend of Korra season 2. That's exactly how I feel about this. Like, don't get it twisted. I think this is a great movie, but I get that. But like, I'm talking about the worst season of Teen Titans, like season 1. Like, there's some like, cringy, cheesy stuff that are not really
Yeah.
explained very well and all that stuff. But my point is, it's like, I felt like, because like, yeah, comparing it to Captain America, yeah, this movie's better, but it's like, if I go back to, like I said, Deadpool to me is a stronger movie. Like, I would say on that level, or even, for example, like, even if we go back down, like, let's ignore Guardians of the Galaxy, because Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we get it, that's an amazing movie. I feel like even Black Panther 2 was a better movie than this. I feel like Shang-Chi was a better movie than this. So it's like, that's why I feel when people are saying, oh my God, Marvel's back, finally a good movie, I'm just like, dude, like, yes, this is better than this movie, but it's not like it's like that great, That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just the comments about everything you guys said. Well, yeah, I do think a lot of Shang-Chi's choreography was better, but in terms of the fight choreography, I really enjoyed a lot of it in the beginning, especially when, all of them were trying to kill each other, as well as the whole Sentry fight scene. I mean, like, it was one-sided, but they still made Sentry's powers
I hated that
pretty
fight
fun
scene.
and cool.
I hated that fight
really?
scene personally. Yeah, that was the one fight scene that I was not messing with.
Yeah,
really?
I didn't like the fact that they kept trying to like hurt him when they obviously knew it wasn't gonna work. But like in the beginning, when we first see his powers, it was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like seeing him use his powers was like fun. But like the whole like short actress and whatnot, yeah, I don't blame her at all. Like it's like a casting thing. Like, I mean, I feel like it's cool that they give like opportunities to anyone, but I do understand that aesthetically it doesn't look as
give an
good.
opportunity to me or something. Like, opportunities to anyone.
My God, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
To me, I feel like I feel like she shouldn't get any hate for like just being short. Like,
no, not to her specifically. It's just, I don't know like the reason behind casting her, and I will say that like there is a level of acting skill that somebody like Florence Pugh is able to do those kinds of moves and make it look realistic and make it look believable, even though like we know that she's a small girl, that she's really not gonna have the ability to do what she's doing without something else going on. But like on camera, she looks good doing it, and so it's hard to.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of fight scenes, I think to me my favorite fight scene in this film would have to be the part where Bucky comes in and he's like destroying the cars and stuff, and then like the limousine gets knocked out. I feel like low-key Bucky is probably my favorite part of this film. Like everything with Bucky is just been consistently good. It's just been solid. So it's like I don't know.
But to be honest, there wasn't enough of him. I feel like a part of me was excited about this movie because of Bucky, because I feel like he's been a consistent character since Winter Soldier, and he has a great backstory, and I feel like they could have used his character so much more.
I agree. 100%.
But they just kind of didn't. Like they just kind of didn't.
The best thing we got was a joke with him and what's his name? Is it no, actually that was Taskmaster and the other dude. The Russian Captain America dude.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Was it him and Bucky that had to talk, or was it him and Taskmaster that had to talk? I mean, not Taskmaster. Now I'm forgetting the other dude. Walker. Him and Walker who had to talk. Was that they both had to walk? They had the conversation about the super serum? If I'm correct.
Oh no, that was him and Bucky.
Oh, it's in Bucky. Yeah, see, that's the best thing we got from Bucky. Where it's just a conversation of like, oh, so you have super serum, so you got super serum.
Yeah,
it's
it was like, what kind of super serum did you get? And he's like, I got Hydra. Like, we had a Russian.
Okay, I really love that aspect of them all being basically super serum heroes. But like, were you guys expecting Walker to be able to jump that high? I feel like he jumped so high. It was kind of crazy. In the one scene.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he jumped super high, like a Hulk jump. Almost.
I guess he theoretically has the same serum as Steve Rogers, right?
He does.
Have we ever seen Steve jump that high?
I'm trying to think. I don't think we've seen him jump that high before.
I guess not. Yeah, we've seen him.
Yeah, it was a good like 5 or so seconds, which is insanely high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the only one who's surprised about this, but like,
that's fair. I think
super soldier and a super soldier,
Yeah. that's fair. That is a good point.
Yeah, I will say, yeah.
But again, wait, with Walker's character, I actually like generally didn't mind him in like Falcon's TV show, but like,
Yeah.
why does everyone hate him so much? Like, I get that he killed someone, but like they were also trying to like kill him.
Yeah.
I don't want to like go back to that TV show because we had this discussion before, but like it really doesn't seem like that big a deal. Like Captain America has killed so many people as well. Like
I think it was because this guy was innocent, and and the way he killed him too. Like
yeah, I get it, but like
using the shield to decapitate him. That's a lot. Yeah.
To Walker's defense, because I'm going to be part of the Walker defense train. It's like Walker was having a moral debate if should he use the syndrome. A moral debate on like should he use the syndrome or right. Remember, he was kind of him and his friend were contemplating like, should I do this? Is it right? And then even his friend was saying, yo, you gotta, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do and all that stuff. So it's like, I feel like he was and that's one thing I will admit, like, again, he was more a complex character in that movie than he was in this movie. I mean, that story than he was in this movie. So that's one thing I will say.
yeah.
Okay.
I just don't think like he said it himself. He was like, arguably he's the one, he's not an assassin. He's like the cleanest one out of them.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He's the cleanest one out of all of them. Yeah, so like we get to the end of the movie and we find out that this is the new Avengers team. How do you guys feel about that? So it seems like, and based on the second post-credit scene, that there's at least a little bit of a question mark behind that like new Avengers title, because Sam has his own team, I guess. So
yeah, but that's like 14 months later or so.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be some movies showing what happens in between.
We have the next movie we have is Fantastic Four, which is not gonna. I don't think it's gonna answer any of those questions because Fantastic Four. It's set in a different dimension, and so
it's a different dimension. Oh, I thought it was just in a different time period.
It's both. It's like a different dimension with a different. That's in the 1960s. So, but then we're gonna have some sort of combination because we see the Fantastic Four ship in the post-credit scene. So that's the next movie, and then after that, I think is Doomsday, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Dang,
so
that's so fast.
Things are coming. Yeah, things are coming quickly.
That's why we're here ready.
So we have a new Avengers team, and then we have Sam's team. I don't know if we're getting any Disney Plus shows in the in-between time that might answer some of these things. But I will say, one of the good things about this movie is that it's doing what a lot of the previous movies have neglected to do, which is starting to combine the world again. Because we've been very disjointed. We've been very separated with like each of these movies. Everything post Endgame has been low-key its own thing. And so now we're getting like different nods to other stuff outside of the movie, kind of like how we used to have pre-Endgame. So I think that's a good thing. I'm hoping that kind of allows momentum to build for the Marvel Universe again. I think that's part of the things that have been missing, because even though Deadpool Wolverine was great, it doesn't. How does it connect to the Marvel Universe? Even though Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was great, it doesn't connect to anything that we've had. And so you have those great films, but part of the magic of pre-Endgame Marvel was that it did connect, and it had like stuff that you wanted to be able to pick up on, so that would have clues for the other thing and then the next thing. So that is something that I appreciated. Not my Avengers team.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the connection.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the Avengers. I mean, like, if you think about each one's, they literally set up themselves. They just like punch stuff and shoot stuff. It's like,
yeah.
other than Bob, like they stand no chance against like an alien invasion or something like that.
Yeah, Thor's supposed to still be out there, so I'm curious if you would team up with Sam.
Well, all I'm saying is Bob better do something in this Doomsday movie, man. Otherwise, he basically is useless. That's all I'm saying.
I think he will be. Yeah, they had his name on one of the chairs when they were doing their Doomsday.
Okay, I better see him try to do some depression stuff, and then Doomsday is like, oh no, now my insecurities are showing up.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Okay, we gotta go. We gotta do our talk no jutsu to Bob, so that way Bob can be better again. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in Doomsday. Just I'm one of those people who is like Robert Downey Jr. is
exactly
he actually is he actually Doomsday?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Dr. Doom. He's Dr. Doom. So that's the perfect.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm one of those people who's like, I'm all for it. Let's check it out.
Yeah, same. I'm all for it.
I'm happy.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Anything else?
Yeah. No, that's about it for me.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a good movie. Like I enjoyed it.
Same. I definitely enjoyed it.
I mean, for me, it's my downfall is I just don't feel like I want to, like, I don't feel like I'm going to remember it after 2 years. That's just my problem with it. I want something I can remember again. But
it could have been better for sure. I think a lot of the elements could have been better given more time and more character building. And I agree. Sure. I agree with a lot of your aspects, Juku, but I guess I don't know. I just have lower expectations. So.
I think my problem was that people were overhyping this film, and it wasn't just like normal people; it was like critics themselves. So it's like people I follow. I see. So if I didn't have that expectation, I would have probably enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, definitely let us know your thoughts on Thunderbolts, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.